It's football o'clock, friends. Celebrate Buckeye Game Day. This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. Key Bank opens doors.
Along with former Buckeyes DeVier, Posey, and Dane Sanzenbacher, here's Matty Ice.
And here we go. Welcome in to another edition of the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. I'm Matty Ice, and I got my guys with me. Two former Buckeye wide receivers, Dane Sanzenbacher and DeVier Posey. Fellas, look, we've arrived. We've been talking about this game for months. I'm fired up. I know Buckeye Nation is fired up. It is good to see you guys again. Before we dive into anything about this game, how we been, fellas, since the last time I seen you? What's going on?
Been great, man. Can't beat this fall weather. What's up, Columbus? What's up, Buckeye Nation? Let's go.
Dane, how you feeling, my man?
I'm good. I'm going to try real hard during this show. So I grew up in Northwest Ohio in Toledo.
Yeah.
And East Toledo is called Oregon. Okay, same spelling and everything.
Yeah.
But I grew up thinking that is the way you say this. Okay, so it's called Oregon.
Yeah.
And I have to, every time I say Oregon, like when I wrote it down here, I had to write it like phonetically. So I wrote with an I, like Oregon.
Oregon.
Because I get roasted by people not from up there. The Northwest Ohio people know what I'm talking about, but I grew up Oregon was how you say it. So I'm gonna do my best. And I know I'm good, man.
I believe before we hopped on the air, I thought I heard you say that tomorrow we got a birthday coming.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday, Dane.
You're approaching 40, man.
And I'm on the back end of it.
It's crazy, man.
Isn't it crazy?
Man. I can't believe you're about to be that old. We're not even going to say.
36.
Okay, you want to say it?
Yeah.
I
mean, you can Google it. Wikipedia.
I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, no. 36 tomorrow.
36.
You know what else you can Google?
But as old as it makes us feel, I know there's people out there listening who's like, he's 36. It's been 10 years since they played or more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what's shocking. Like, just
not 10, 14. My senior year was 2010.
It's just getting further and further away. I mean, somebody was like, somebody inboxed me and was like, it's been a while since you guys played Oregon. I was like, no, we've played them a couple of times, but for us, like, it's been almost, a decade and a half.
Yeah, we're approaching 15 years.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys brought that up because I was doing a little homework.
Okay.
Prior to the game, and you took me right where I wanted to go.
Oh, I didn't even think about how perfect this show is right now for this game.
You took
With
me
you
right,
and I.
yeah, right where I wanted to go.
Hat.
You got the hat on.
I don't know how I'm so late to this, but yeah, this is great.
Oh, this hat was worn on purpose.
For the folks that don't know and that aren't watching YouTube, and again, you can catch us on YouTube if you like to tap in that way. Our guy Depot right now has on the January 1st, 2010 Rose Bowl game hat right now. Oregon and Ohio State. It's one of the best hats I've seen all year.
This is my hat of the year. Like, I get like a hat that I like just dog it out for like a year.
You should
just put it away.
And it's a perfect hat for today.
It's really good.
And, I said, you know what? Let me go back and look to see what happened in that game. And I came away and I said, oh, my guys were balling in this game. I said, Dane and Depot said, we're showing up and we're showing out. We get 9 catches for 64 from Dane, and 8 for 101 and a tutty from Depot.
Yep.
And that tutty was, we got to have it. Fourth quarter, left side of the end zone. And Dane, when Depot, I watched the highlight this morning. When Depot got up, it looked like he was ready to run through a brick wall. Like you were fired. That was good stuff, man.
I dropped a tutty in the first quarter on the same exact play, and I just was like, it's just one of those games where it's like, and you know the feeling. You drop a touchdown early, and you're like, oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, and you don't even – and then when you score the next one, it's either like you're elated or you're just still kind of mad.
You're like, I can't believe
that you let one get away.
That. And then it's like, first quarter, fourth quarter is such a gap. But, like, the thing about that game, Matty, it was either, like, a boom and zoom game. Like, we had not had a Dane and DeVier game.
I was going to say that's probably the best game we had together, and that was maybe the best.
Well, no, the next year we had games where we got off. So. Like your senior year, like we had games where we passed. But like up until that point, it was like
that was the first one.
We're blocking. We kind of went into. We were even rotating on punt return because Ray Small got in trouble, And so we had to like fill in for punt return. And I remember thinking, I was like, all right, if we're not passing the ball, I'm being real aggressive with punts because it could easily be a boom and zoom game like it's been all year. And funny thing, we were at this event and I approached Chip Kelly and I'm talking about this game. And Chip's like, our goal was to make Pryor throw the ball. Like if he can throw the ball more than 20 times, we can beat him. And so Terrell didn't even show up at that time that he could throw. So it was like we were surprised that game that we actually got that many passes.
You know what I heard recently? I'm fairly certain it was about this game because was there not a stretch there where we threw the ball? I think we'd have to look it up, but in the first half, we might have started off the game throwing like 20 in a row. We threw a ton.
It felt weird.
Yeah, and I could be you got numbers, man?
I'm trying to find that for you right now.
So what the story that I was told by Tress, this came up like this year.
Yeah.
We were at lunch and he was talking to somebody about this.
Yeah.
Is that he was mad at this is how he tells it, true or not, but this is how he tells it. He said he was mad at Terrell or something happened with Terrell, was not paying attention or late to a meeting or wasn't like getting into the game planning.
Yeah.
And he said he went into that game and to like show him the game plan was to run it more. He was just going to call pass play after pass play after pass play, almost to like, I don't know.
Teach him a lesson?
Teach him a lesson. That's what he said.
You guys are right, because going back and looking at the play-by-play, first and second down were both passes. Then TP ran for 24 yards on 3rd and 6.
Which is probably a pass play.
Right back to a pass play on 1st and 2nd down. You guys Depot picked up the first down on 2nd and 6. You went right back to a pass to you, Dane, for 7 yards.
Did we ever do that? I mean, think about all the first and second
in the first
passes.
15.
That's all it was.
Straight throws.
That's all it was. Brandon saying 2nd and 3 with a run. Then TP goes to Dane on 1st down. Then TP goes to Depot on 2nd down. So, yeah, you guys will remember that correctly. TP and Tress wanted to come out slinging that thing, and you guys didn't. You ended up with 17 catches between the two of you in the game and a win in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, no.
Crazy stuff.
You know what that means, what Chip said to you, though?
What?
He said, we got to pick our poison. We're going to make those guys beat us. That's kind of messed up now that I'm thinking about it.
No, made him pay, though.
He made it clear that he was like, we're going to make – because Terrell didn't show that he could, like, throw like that at that point. So we're going to blame – he wanted Terrell to throw and beat us. Yeah, not us. We didn't know.
You guys heard him, man. But I'm glad we went back down memory road because that was good stuff, and I was glad to see that you guys were balling. And that one, this is just that big fight feel is in the air.
Oh, man.
It's in the air. This has been one of the most anticipated games of the entire calendar year, going back to when we found out what the schedules were going to look like. I mean, we had Bama and Georgia already. That game delivered. But outside of that, this was the game for a lot of people. And now here we are with two teams ranked inside the top 3 going at it. Oregon's coming out in the all-black unis tonight. They're doing a blackout at Alton Stadium. Ohio State is coming out in the all-white Sub-Zero unis, which I'm absolutely here for. I don't know if you guys saw a picture of those. But
so jealous.
The Sub-Zero all with the white pants.
DeVier, this will make you crack up about my wife, too.
Yeah.
Because you know she's a huge sports fan. She helps me out with all my One Tough Animals. She helps me out with, that's most of that comes from her. She's on the feed.
I love it.
So we were at the zoo this morning. We were actually with Zach Bourne at the zoo this morning. We took the kids.
Yeah.
And Zach was talking about it. I had not heard about the all whites, but he was saying yeah. So Oregon announced that they were going to black out the stadium. Mm-hmm. So shortly after, Ohio State had the response that's fine. We'll wear our all whites. Mm-hmm. And I just hear my wife under her breath go, that's sweet. And she was serious.
Oh, dead serious.
They look good.
She was dead serious. Like, she was pumped. She's like, that is sweet.
Depot, sounded like there's a little jealousy from you that they're getting to wear the white on white.
Yeah, we never had him, right?
It is jealousy because it's like everything that we had to do, we were just like, we came in Ohio State at an era where they didn't even have Nike compressions, Matty. We had Under Armour compressions. Nike has changed the game. Yeah. They have just unlocked all of the uniforms on the game. It's just like they put in the secret code. Man, they got white pants. Like, that's crazy.
It was a transition time, though, because we had We had three.
We had
alternates.
the throwbacks. I'll give you that.
Prior to that, 2006 and before, they never changed it.
They never changed. You're right.
They didn't do anything that wasn't what's on the wall behind Matty. It was the reds and the whites, and you're wearing silver pants one way or the other.
No matter what.
So we were like, I think, at the front end of the transition.
Aesthetically, it's going to look incredible. The scene's going to be amazing with the all black and then Ohio State coming out in the tunnel in the all white. I cannot wait to see what it looks like in the game. Hopefully, it shall deliver. When we come back, we'll dive into this game. You'll hear from Coach Day. You'll hear his thoughts on their veteran quarterback, Dillon Gabriel, and a lot more. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
ESPN Bet is the official sports book of Common Man and T-Bone. On your phone or in person at Hollywood Casino Columbus. The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling RAV4. Now through November 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
Trust and Will knows that this fall, you're likely celebrating a birthday, your own, a loved one's, or even welcoming a new addition, because fall is the most popular birthday season in America, and Trust and Will celebrates milestones by protecting what matters most. Trust and Will makes estate planning easy and affordable, with step-by-step guidance designed by attorneys but customized by you. All documents are state-specific, legally valid, and secure. Plus, Trust and Will has thousands of 5-star reviews and a rating of excellent on Trustpilot. So join the hundreds of thousands of families in celebrating and securing your future with Trust and Will. Visit trustandwill.com now with offer code Columbus for 10% off your plan. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trustandwill.com. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney. Documents are not valid until formally executed in accordance with applicable law.
Join Skip Mossick, Paul Keels, and Jim Lachey for 2 whole hours of scarlet and gray goodness.
Thank you, football guy.
Buckeye Roundtable, Monday night at 6.
Presented by Burger King.
Your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC is open for enrollment and has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
First down! Yes! Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Gambling too much? Or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is here for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
What a difference hours make as it warms up nicely for us in the afternoon. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s to low 80s, and we'll see that sunshine continue throughout most of the day, with clouds increasing going into tonight. Partly cloudy skies overnight with lows dropping right around 60. And for Sunday, we have isolated rain chances in the forecast. Otherwise, expect a mix of sun and clouds and still mild, with our daytime highs right around 80. But we will have breezy winds in the forecast. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo.
Got your game face on? I mean, have you actually painted your face? Good job, buddy. It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
The Fan. This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home for Buckeye football, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
All right, welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Matty Ice. Got my guys, the former Buckeye wide receivers in the house, chopping it up with me, Dane, Sanzenbacher, DeVier, Posey, getting you ready for Ohio State and Oregon. Fellas, the line has stayed the same. Ohio State is favored on the road at Oregon's crib by 3 points right now. Before we get into some Coach Day sound, some pretty significant news came out this morning from Oregon side of things, and their best defensive player, Jordan Birch, apparently suffered a lower leg injury or lower extremity injury in practice over the last couple of days. So his availability is in doubt right now. So nothing set in stone right now whether or not he is or isn't going to play. But the news coming out of Oregon, and Pete Thamel reported it this morning, that the guy that leads their team in sacks may not go in this one. So whenever we get an update on that front, we will bring it to you. Are you guys surprised that Ohio State's favored on the road right now by a field goal?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, the two stats that jump out to me for Oregon, and I think, you watch the College Game Day crew, and, I think it was, 2-3, or was it 2-2? I know Kurt, Herb Street, and Nick Saban went with Ohio State. That was it. Then I think everybody else went with Oregon. But the two stats that jump out to me, 1 and 8 are Big Ten teams on the road going west. Yeah. I was surprised at the time of departure for the Ohio State Buckeyes yesterday. It was pretty late in the day. But the thing I did love and the thing I saw was they got out when they got there, got a run in, got their legs moving a little bit. And I thought that was big. I think that will help with the West Coast time. And then also Oregon, 34 and 35 in Autzen Stadium in their last 35 games. Only losses to Washington, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. I don't know if you guys remember that game. Crazy game last year, 2 years ago. Those things, I think, are giving Oregon fans and the Oregon faithful confidence. But I think that's how good this team is that those things are just wiped away. Their focus. And then the one stat that I saw that jumps out over all of that, it's 82 to, I think, 3 or 6 third quarter scoring. Ohio State Buckeyes. You know what that means? Halftime adjustments, baby. This team adjusts to whatever is thrown at them. They are able to take whatever you give to them. Like I'm just tired of this. Oh, slow starts. I'm around town. Oh, they started slow. Well, let's look at the third quarter. They're scoring opponents 82 to 6 or something like that. And it's just crazy. This team can go on the road. They can make adjustments, and I think that's what gives me confidence tonight.
Dane, on the spread there, field goal, does that surprise you at all that Ohio State's going into somebody's house?
No, it feels about right from what we've seen. Yeah. I mean, I've not been blown away by Oregon. I mean, I think we thought they would be good. They've played pretty well, and ranking is well deserved from what we've seen. But they came in pretty off, even the preseason. Yeah. Pretty well respected, as this is going to be a good team. Mm-hmm. I think Ohio State so far has shown us everything we needed to see with the opponents they've had. And I think we've had to squint to find things that were not quite perfect.
Yeah, right.
I think DeVier's point's great on the adjustments. I mean, you can see it. There's a lot at this point. You're playing big boys now. You're not going to pitch shutouts every time.
No.
You're not going to always get it right. You're going to get gashed sometimes. You saw it at Michigan State. Saw it a little bit with Iowa, and not even getting gashed, but slow start on offense. But it's just like they've been able to go into halftime in both on offense and defense, make the minor adjustments, and then come out and perform. So I think, it's definitely worth some points that travel.
Yeah.
It's tough. Going out the West Coast, it's hard doing it.
It's tough.
And especially going the day before. I mean, it's hard, but it's I would still think so. I think it says a lot that they're still 3-point favorites.
No question, man. It doesn't surprise me at all based off of everything you guys have said. I mean, Ohio State is the complete package right now as a team. To your point, Dane, I mean, we've been talking the last 4 to 5 weeks about this, and we're talking about, a couple slow starts here or there, a couple plays that a team's making here or there. For the most part, the picture has been really clean, and I think what you're talking about is the combination of a great coaching staff with players that are saying, okay, we can handle this information and get it done in the second half. And I think that's a sign of a great team. Now, for Oregon, it's been interesting how they've gone about it the last few years. Dan Lanning took over this program, went into the portal, and grabbed veteran quarterbacks. A couple years ago, Nix turned him into a first-round pick, does the same thing again this offseason, steals Dylan Gabriel from Norman, Oklahoma, and turns him into potentially, second, third-round pick, maybe first-round pick, whatever it looks like. Fourth round?
Yeah,
somewhere around there. Okay, I know you haven't been that impressed with what they've done.
I mean, he's a good quarterback, and he's up there all the time. I think he's right behind Kellen Moore and Case Keenum, guys from our era, right? But those guys did it in 4 years.
He's played a lot,
and you remember how good those dudes were. Those dudes were special.
Yeah.
But it just surprises me that he's all the way up there. But I think he is a super senior too, right?
He is.
Yeah,
he is. And so this is what I think has fast-tracked some of their success the last 2 years, is what you mentioned, is having a guy that can grab the steering wheel and maybe play above some young guys on the opposing side of the ball. Let's hear from Coach Day. Here he is on Dylan Gabriel.
I think he's a very good player. I think he's played a lot of football. He's experienced. He gets the ball out of his hand quickly. He's accurate, very accomplished. His production speaks for itself, and his numbers overall, his body of work, and I think he's playing very well.
He's a guy right now that leads the country in completion percentage. But I think one of the main reasons why that happens is because of what Coach Day just talked about, is that this isn't a quarterback or an offense with playmakers that want to chop you up all the way down the field and beat you up over the top. That ball's coming out quickly. Slants, curls, screens, all of those type of things. So he's very efficient with the rock. But this isn't one of those things to where I don't think we're talking about a whole bunch of slant and goes or anything like that from his playmakers. So that'll be interesting to see. For me today, Depot, is how the defensive line manages that, knowing that I probably won't be able to get home a ton.
Yeah.
But if I know that I don't get home or can't get home a ton, that means, I got to get my hands up and get them into those passing lanes.
That makes me nervous. I'm thinking about the Marshall first drive.
Exactly what I was thinking about.
But you know how hard a game is and how perfect a quarterback has to be to dink and dunk the whole game?
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable 3-step drop blank flat, comfortable 3-step drop spot, drive concept, double slant, smash. That gets boring.
That's what I was thinking the exact same thing, was that if there is anywhere that Ohio State's defense has struggled, it has been with quarterbacks that either can get the ball out of their hands quickly, like Marshall was, move the ball quickly, or be very mobile and run. But, I think the theme through Ohio State's defense, and we saw it last week, we've seen it previous weeks, is that, it might seem like it's a slow start at times. But at some point, they're there for the breakdown. They just wear on teams. So, for Iowa, it was okay, they just had nothing going. They couldn't run the ball, couldn't do anything. So it looked like a boring first half. A casual watcher would say, Ohio State, slow start, only 7-0. Well, obviously on offense, they had turnovers.
They're hitting that wall right there. Yeah.
But then the second half comes, and then it's hard to sustain that as an offense hitting that wall. So then you try to press, and then you make throws that you shouldn't make, and then the strip fumble, the strip sack. Then those things really turn the game over. So I mean, you're right. It's a little bit scary, but it is hard to maintain that type of offense.
And then on the flip side, their defense has to be perfect then, right? Their defense has to get 3 and outs for them to sustain those long dink and dunk drives. And then their special teams have to win the field position battle to put that dink and dunk in a great great position, but it's so hard. I'll be honest, you know who was the best at dink and dunk? And I know you played against Brady in your time. Brady was comfortable just taking what you gave him.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Oh, my God. And he was like the only guy that could really kill you like that. Like, it's hard for quarterbacks to get in a rhythm and just stay there and be like, okay, I'll just hit these double slants and these flats, and I'll just pick up 6 here, pick up 7 here. It'll get boring.
Yeah.
It'll get boring.
The area of the field that I think about is the middle of the field with two guys that they have, and Terrence Ferguson, their tight end, who can go, and Tez Johnson that they have at wide receiver. And I'm sure, they're going to try to put maybe Cody Simon and Sonny Styles in some compromising positions. Jordan Hancock, you put him in that area. But that's the area of the field, too, that I do think about. But you guys just laid that out really, really well. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. When we come back, you'll hear from Will Howard in our What They're Saying segment right here on The Fan.
If you've recently seen a photo of an older Baker Mayfield fresh off a bender, it's just Bo Bishop. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Atlas Butler is built to keep you comfortable, and our plumbing services are no exception. You can rely on Atlas Butler for trusted, convenient plumbing and drain service. Our expert plumbers and drain specialists can take care of anything, from a broken water heater to a clogged drain. Call today, get it fixed today. That's our pledge to you.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Why choose the Hinderer Motor Company? We don't just sell vehicles, we build relationships. This is Justin Hinderer. With 4 top-tier dealerships and a state-of-the-art collision center, we're here for you every step of the way. From our exclusive CarVenience service that handles everything from pickup to delivery, to our 24/7 towing and roadside assistance, we make your life easier. And every vehicle purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty because we believe in what we sell. Experience the difference and visit HindererMotorCompany.com. We love what moves you.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Rothman and Ice.
Kind of an elbow into the portal kind of deal. Hey, there's an opening over there. There's a door. It's going to open up. You hop in, and then it'll send you somewhere.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota. With more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, anything's possible. Like the family-size Highlander with room for up to 8. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Highlander XLE all-wheel drive for $489 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Ready to pop the question but not sure where to start? Join us at Diamond Cellar After Hours on October 17th for a night out with a DJ, drinks, and exclusive discounts on engagement rings. With 90 days to redeem your discount, there's no rush to find the one. The ring, that is. When you stop by, you'll have a chance to win Ohio State football tickets or Blue Jackets tickets in the new Diamond Cellar Club. RSVP now at diamondcellar.com/afterhours and save up to $1,000 on qualifying purchases. See you October 17th at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
what's it like to have a yard?
Can lead to an even bigger question like,
am I ready to buy a home?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you, prepared to talk about everything you need to know when applying for a mortgage, so you can try to turn those backyard dreams into reality. Paul?
Yes?
Question. Are you a hammock person?
I think I might be.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. NMLS 399797, Equal Housing Lender.
What's up, sandwich heads? Today on Steve-O's Sandwich Reviews, we've got the tips and tricks to the best sandwich order. And it all starts with this little guy right here. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Partial to pastrami, craving a Cubano. Yeah, sounds delicious, but boom! Add the crisp, refreshing taste of Pepsi Zero Sugar and cue the fireworks. Lunch, dinner, or late night, it'll be a sandwich worth celebrating. Trust me, your boy's eaten a lot of sandwiches in his day, and the one thing I can say with absolute fact, every bite is better with Pepsi.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Buddy Wells. Let's get you caught up on all the college football games in progress right now, starting with top 25 teams. South Carolina leads 19-14 at number 7 Alabama. Number 10 Clemson is on the road at Wake Forest. They're up big, 42-14. The Tigers, that is. And number 21 Missouri is up big as well. They're up 38-3 at UMass. A couple of games in the Big Ten right now. Washington is at Iowa. The Hawkeyes lead 23-10, and Wisconsin leads 28-0 at Rutgers. All those games are in the late third or early fourth quarter. In baseball, in the winner-take-all game 5 between the Guards and Tigers right now in Cleveland. The Tigers just took a 1-0 lead in the 5th inning. And, of course, tonight at 7:30, number 2 Ohio State will face number 3 Oregon in Eugene. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150 to F-750, Valley Ford of Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Can you smell it? Buckeye football is in the air. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home for the Buckeyes, the Fan. It's time to find out what they're saying.
All right, welcome back in. Matty Ice, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher getting you ready for Ohio State and Oregon. Before we dive into some Will Howard sound, fellas, Bama on the ropes again this week. 19-14 at home right now. Bama is down a handful of points early in the fourth quarter, but I think they might be in the red zone. Yeah, it looks like they're in the red zone, so we'll keep you guys posted on that. But they lose to Vandy last week, and now here they are at the crib having to sweat it out just a little bit. For the Guardian fans listening, your team just went down 1-0. Looks like it's the top of the 5th inning up there. Kerry Carpenter does it again. So season on the line for the Guardians. We'll keep you posted on everything happening around the sports world. But back to this, and this is one of those moments where I can't wait to see what Will Howard does. For the most part, it's been comfortable for him, right? You're talking about a guy that came in here, he's handled business. We got an interception streak going on right now that you don't love to see. 3 games in a row with that, but it hasn't cost them much. And Coach Day talked about it this week, that this is one of those games where he said, quote, every play is going to matter in a game like this. So hopefully if you do have one of those hiccups, you don't see that come back to bite him. But let's hear from Will Howard, and here he is on one of the reasons why he came to Ohio State was to get busy in a game like this.
Oh, absolutely. When you come to a place like Ohio State, you want to play on the biggest stage, college game day, all the hype, 2 versus 3 matchup. Like, this is what you sign up for. And this is what I was looking forward to. And, it's a challenge, man. It's fun. This is what college football is all about. This is what you dream about as a kid, man. Like, just, being on this stage, playing in front of, a ton of people and a ton of people watching on TV. Like, it's a dream, man. And it's definitely a big reason why I came here.
Dane, you think he's ready for the moment?
I hope so. I think he is. I mean, he's shown us that he can perform. He just hasn't been in a situation like this.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm excited like everybody else to find out. But I think, when you look at the weapons on the Ohio State offense, and Ohio State fans, they'll say it all year, is like, Will doesn't need to be great. He just needs to get it to these guys, right? You want to have it in the hands of your playmakers. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, Oregon's watching that tape too. And they're going to say, similar to Chip Kelly said about us, when he was with Oregon, for those that just joined the show, but okay, let's make this guy beat us. Yeah. I mean, I have to imagine Dan Lanning's bunch is thinking, okay, let's make number 18 beat us. Let's make him either throw it or pressure him, because we know the other guys are dangerous. We haven't quite seen him in this situation yet. Mm-hmm. And that's why you think this is going to be one of those games that we go as Will goes.
I agree.
It feels like it would match up like that, or it would play out in that way.
Depot, you think he's ready for this moment?
I mean, we're talking about a Big 12 champion. I mean, I sat there and watched him battle Max Duggan in the AT&T Stadium, going to OT. Mm-hmm. TCU is fighting to go to the Final Four playoffs, and Will's like, nah, like this is my championship. He gets a dub in overtime. This dude has played in big moments. Let the man cook. And the best part about it is that was Kansas State Will. Since he's got here, he's gotten better than that version of himself who was a Big 12 champion. Yeah. So it's like I'm excited because the thing I can always say is like big players play big in big games. Like they're not afraid of the lights. And I think we have a lot of guys who have been like ready to play for the lights. And like, and Dana attested this, like the thing about like blowout games, they're good for the fans. You're comfortable. You're having a good time. The tailgating was worth it. We blew them out. You didn't have to go through any stress. But for starters, in blowout games, you're always looking over your shoulder like, all right, am I out yet? Like, okay, like you wake up today and you're like, man, I get to play 4 quarters. Yeah. Like I'm playing 4 quarters today, and that's a good feeling. Like I can show somebody something in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and then we can come back to something in the fourth quarter. Like you get a full game. And I think this is our first time being able to see Will do a full game. And the thing I'm looking for is going on the road, going to Otsa Stadium, and I want to see victory formation. And not at halftime. I do. I just
clock running down in the fourth quarter. That's what you want.
Best playing football.
One of the things that was advertised about Will and his skill set prior to coming to Columbus was his rushing ability.
Yeah.
And we talked about it over the last few weeks that they haven't necessarily needed it that much, just based off of what the running backs have been able to do and the playmakers on the outside that Dane was talking about. Last week we did get 10 carries from him, so maybe that's starting to ramp up a little bit. 6 carries the week before that. Here is Will on how comfortable he is running the rock.
Yeah, very. Everything's on the docket, and we've definitely ramped it up as we've gone. And I think the design quarterback run stuff is definitely going to be more of an emphasis going forward. And I think that it adds an element to our offense. And anytime that you can add something that they have to be worried about, or something extra that that can present an issue to a defense, like we're going to take every advantage we can get. And I think the quarterback run stuff has been good. And I think we have a lot more up our sleeve, and I'm excited to get it out on the field. And I love doing it. I think it's fun. I think, getting my pads downhill and popping people, like I think, it makes you feel more into the game, and I like to, that first hit, kind of warms you up, and it gets you going, man. And it makes you a little more juiced, and it makes it more fun.
The one thing that jumped out to me in that clip was him saying we have a lot more up our sleeve. When it comes to that, what does that look like to you guys when you hear him say that, and what you've seen from that aspect of this offense? When he says that, what other layers to this rushing attack with Will? What else is left on the bone there?
Honestly, I don't know. Yeah. And I know that sounds like it's your job to know, but like the predictability of Ryan Day and Chip Kelly together, I don't know. I don't think we have an offense. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's like literally, if we like a play, if we see something that works, we have senior receivers. We have junior and senior offensive linemen. We have junior and senior running backs. We can do anything we want. Like we don't have to like there's not a freshman at quarterback that we're like, oh, don't make it too hard for him. Like anything is up the sleeve, bro. I mean, Xavier Worthy scored a reverse. Andy Reid next week, Jeremiah scores a reverse, and it's the exact same plays that the Chiefs ran in the opening week. And it's like Chip and Ryan, they have no ego, right? I mean, like Chip taught Ryan offense, and Ryan ran Chip's offense. And it's like, all right, can you imagine a film session with them? Like, all right, like what do we got to do to beat these guys? Oh, you want to do the old roundabout thing from New Hampshire? Like, whatever. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, you can just do whatever.
So, I think Will is a serviceable runner, right? I think if he runs the ball in this game more than 10 times, or if he's approaching that, I don't think that's a good thing for Ohio State.
Okay.
And I say that because it's great to have that tool in your arsenal, right? And it's great to be able to create with your legs. But as far as there's one ball on the field, right? And on that offense, there's about 5 other guys that are better with it in their hands than Will.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can throw it, obviously, but when you're talking about running the ball, there's other guys that you want to be dangerous. Now, if you got to do it, you got to do it, and that's great. But like the design runs, they've been okay, but they haven't been world beaters, and I truly don't think it's his strength. He can do it because he's a big kid and athletic kid.
Yeah.
But it's not in the top 3 things he does.
No, I hear
he's good at managing the game. He can throw the ball, and that's why I'm like, again, I try to put myself in Oregon's shoes. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear you say like, "Oh, you guys are doing all this game planning, and it's for Will Howard to run the ball. Sweet. I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about the other 6 dudes that are looking like monsters on film." So I know they talk about it, but I hope we don't get there.
No, I think that's a very interesting point that you brought up. I think for Will, even going back to his Kansas State days and some of the things we've seen from him this year, it's effective in the red zone, that being his legs, right? That's just that extra threat down there. Ohio State, coming into this week, was tied for first in red zone scoring percentage. I mean, they've made 21 trips down in the red zone this year and only kicked 1 field goal. So they've got 12 rushing touchdowns there and 8 of them passing in the red zone. So that's been phenomenal, their efficiency down there. And I think to your point, Dane, that's where you can stress them out in that area of the field. Hey, if the RPO looked to Quinshawn, Travion, whatever it might be. So I want to see those moments, too, where the house is rocking. And it's a 3rd and 6 and a 3rd and 7. What does he look like there? And then we're talking maybe late in the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter. That's the part of the game I want to see from Will Howard, because for the most part he's been comfortable. But look, he's been fine. And to your point, when you got dudes all over the place, you don't have to be Superman. And he came into the season, honestly, and he said that on record. I know I don't have to be a superhero. And as soon as I heard him say that, I thought he was coming into the season with the right mentality. Game day coverage is sponsored by Riker 4 on the Fan, Ohio sports destination. When we come back, it's one tough animal time. Who balled out last week? We will shine a light on those guys or that team. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan pregame show right here on the Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Drive into autumn in a 2024 Ford Bronco at up to $9,500 off MSRP. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months for a limited time. Drive away a new Ford Edge SE and save up to $7,500 off MSRP. For these deals and more, get to Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of wide receiver Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
At AAA, it's our policy to look on the plus side, and AAA Plus members tend to take the same view. Take Martin. Last Monday, his coffee surprised him with an extra 10 degrees of Fahrenheit. It was just the jolt of energy he needed. Later, when he walked into a door, he was happy to provide entertainment for his coworkers.
I'm okay.
And when his car battery took early retirement, he knew expert roadside assistance was only a call away.
Hello, AAA.
Become a AAA Plus member and experience peace of mind on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
Start Reaction Monday off in style with Bobby and Beam on Morning Juice. They're talking Buckeyes at 6:20, 7:20, and 8:20, and probably all the other minutes in between.
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CR-V, HR-V, Passport Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
First down! Yes!
Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth. And you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC is open for enrollment and has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Saturday in Ohio. Birds are chirping. The sky is, blue, gray? I don't know. This is recorded in advance. But the most wonderful thing of all is Buckeye football. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. The Fan's one tough animal.
All right, welcome back in. Matty Ice, Dane, Sanzenbacher, DeVier, Posey, getting you ready for Ohio State and Oregon. All right, Dane, you're going to lead us off this week, big dog. Who's your one tough animal?
So, Matty, I don't stay up all that late anymore, right?
Because you're about to turn 36, is that right?
That's right, 36 tomorrow. What are you going to be doing at about 1:30 a.m.
tonight? I will probably be watching the end of Kansas State and Colorado because I'm excited about that game. That kicks off at 10:15.
All right, well, most people are asleep. Most people are asleep.
Normal people.
At 1:30 or 2. But you know who's not?
Mm-hmm.
Tough animals. They're out there.
Talk about it.
Last Saturday.
Great intro, Dane.
It was about 1:30 a.m. Eastern, and there was a tough animal out on the West Coast in Berkeley, California.
Okay.
In Cam Ward in the Miami Hurricanes. These guys went into the fourth quarter down 38-18.
Yeah.
And came back one at a time, outscored Cal 21-3 in the fourth quarter. Crazy. And won it by 1 point.
Crazy.
I don't know who stayed up to watch it. I didn't. No, I didn't either. But those that stayed up to watch it were given a treat. And this guy, I mean, I went back and watched the highlights, and it looked like even in the fourth quarter, he was just comfortable. He was taking his shotgun snaps, and you know how you can tell, like, you watch quarterbacks, and when they're in a rhythm, like how cool they start taking that the shotgun snaps and their dropbacks, real like lazy, not
just
real
nonchalant,
yes.
just like in his
You'll see it with the NFL guys that are really good. They're catching it and they're looking. They're not thinking about their footwork. They're not thinking about that.
Pat Mahomes-esque.
Their eyes are downfield. That's what he was doing. He run one in. He threw a couple. I mean, the percentage of them winning that game had to been very, very low. So Cam Ward is my tough animal.
He can go, man. The guy can absolutely go. Just real quick side note. Progressive Field is absolutely rocking right now in Cleveland because Lane Thomas just hit a grand slam. Go off Tarek Skubal. It is now 5-1.
While I was talking, I was wondering why you weren't looking at me. I'm like, man, I'm killing this segment.
Because
he's like over my shoulder.
I saw the stadium just rocking. So, Guardian fans, if you're on the road right now, your team just took a 5-1 lead via a grand slam from Lane Thomas in a win or go home situation. So we'll keep you posted on all that. But yeah, Dane, awesome. That was crazy. Cam Ward, listen, they got dudes all over the place. There's weapons all over the place. So they're built for that a little bit with the playmakers that they have. But yeah, Cal made them earn it for sure. You're right. Like even when he's one of those guys, like when he's running out of bounds, like he tempts the defender to get as close as you can to me. Because he's just kind of, it looks like he's jogging out there. The dude is just always
He's
chilling.
setting him up for a flag.
He is, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Tough Animals.
Oh, okay. I like this.
We're going to go down to Nashville, Tennessee.
That's Vegas?
Mm-hmm. Okay. We're going to talk about those Vanderbilt. What are they?
The Commodores.
The Commodores. Had a great game last week.
Good, man.
You're talking about something they haven't done in the history of their school, and we have to point it out, man. They beat Alabama, top-ranked Alabama at that. And I'm going to go to Diego Paiva.
Yeah.
16 for 20, 252 yards, 2 tutties. And you just talk about dominance in the second half. I mean, there was a time in the game where DeVier subbed somebody out. The guy waved him off. This is Alabama's defense. He waved him off, and he's like, man, what are we doing? You know, and then, like, the guy wants to stay on. Like, that's how frustrated they were with the Commodores. They just took Alabama all out of character, got to highlight Vanderbilt in their performance last week and how they knocked off, you know, the Roll Tide.
Revenge of the nerds, man. The nerds
That's
had it
what
done.
You got to say,
They
man.
took the field goal, and they were running it down, you know, on campus. I'm sorry, the goalpost, excuse me. They were running it around on campus. What was surprising to me about that game is how Bama's defense could not get off the field on third down.
It was crazy.
I mean, Vandy's offense just kept moving the chains.
Especially at the end of the game when they needed to get a 3-and-out, and they had enough time to drive down and score, and they were just running the ball.
It was wild. It was absolutely wild.
Yeah.
My one tough animal is a guy that I just feel like I'm doing this every week, but I have to do it every week because it's getting silly. Ashton Genty is just ridiculous. Last week, 13 carries, $186, and 3 trips to the paint, averaged 14.3 a carry. Fellas, we're at a point now to where
13 carries on 186. It's silly.
It's video. He feels like
silly.
You drop like Derrick Henry back into college football, and he's just playing at that type of level. Yeah, it's the efficiency is through the roof. He is the only running back in the country right now that has 1,000 yards.
Barry Sanders right now, bro.
Well, I was just saying, if you took like current form Derrick Henry and dropped him back into college, like with the way he's dominating, it's just absolutely insane what he's doing.
He's doing like Barry Sanders numbers right now. It's just crazy.
He's the only guy in the country right now that has 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
The guy that's behind him in second is a man that played last night, and he is only at 773 rushing yards. So he is just lapping the field
But he stays
at the
up
moment.
late. But he's up at 1:30.
He's a one tough
Just out there
animal, man.
lurking.
So I saw
It's wild.
something about Genty, and I feel his Heisman hype is on the way. He's going to be in New York. The dude said 2 things. He was like, you know, I'm a Christian disguised as a football player. Love that he's like a focused, down-to-earth guy, and he's having success. I love that. And then also he said he has a bet with himself.
What's that?
If he doesn't get 2,000 yards, he has to cut his hair.
Oh, okay. Because we do have the dreads going right now.
The dreads going. So he's going to cut his hair if he doesn't get 2K. So he's running for his life right now.
So one thing I wanted to touch on yours, DeVier, the Alabama game.
Yeah.
So I think that as Ohio State people, you watch something like that and you automatically go on alert.
No, Dane, don't start.
No, and I'm not saying it's not the Oregon thing. It's not the Oregon, but you can take a lesson from that because how those games happen is by the time you realize it's happening, it's too late. And you saw it in Alabama. By the time they're like panicking, you know, like they're waving coaches off the field, want to stay on the field. And we've been in some games like that. We've been in some games where it's like by the time you wake up, even if you think that you can just come to at halftime and turn it back on, the ship's already left. Like, you've got to be ready on all of them from the first quarter, because if you're just waking up, you can't get back in it.
That's a really good point.
Especially on the road, too.
Especially on the road. You just
Especially
can't.
on the road.
And you feel like you're going to be able to athlete your way through, and it doesn't happen.
No, and it's because you brought up who their quarterback is, Vandy's quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think that shines a light on the power of the transfer portal. Is Vandy can now drop in a veteran quarterback from a lower level program that's not shook by, okay, we're playing Bama? Yeah. That doesn't move me at all, and I can shepherd us to this big-time upset. We talked about this off the air, and I think the letdown that could happen coming out of a big game for Ohio State won't happen because of the bye week. You don't even have the ability to do that, right? And that's what happened to Bama, right? They come off that high, beating Georgia at home, classic game. Everybody's, showing you love and all that. Now you got to go into Vandy, and you go in there sleepy, and you come out of there with an L.
No, it happens all the time. I remember we went to USC my freshman year, your sophomore year. That USC team was crazy. Sanchez, Clay Matthews, Cushing, Maluga. They beat us. Then that next Thursday, they lose to Oregon State, Jaquez Rogers. And they had one loss that year. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the year that Oklahoma and Florida played for the national championship. And I've said this time and time again. That USC team was way light years ahead of that Oklahoma team. Like that USC team had pros, like 10-year pros, that I think could have battled Florida in a way tighter game, but they had a letdown. Yeah. And that was at BCS voting area where you couldn't have one.
DeVier, the hat you got on.
Yeah.
That season.
Yep.
Purdue.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
At Purdue. I know we don't like talking about it, and I'm not putting this out into the air. I'm just saying it's something that you need to be aware of, because by the time you realize it,
it's too late. You guys are bringing up great points. The Fan Pregame Show is presented by KeyBank. For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. When we come back, we'll go out to Eugene. Our guy Adam King from 10 TV will set the scene and give us his thoughts on Ohio State and Oregon. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on the Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Thousands of vehicles are waiting. ReichertFord.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Full inventory sale at Logan Services. Save up to $2,500 and 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying train system. Plus, your choice of 1 air quality freebie. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Now, for a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a water heater and water conditioning combo. Ask us about tax credits when you book your free estimate now. Logan Services.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here, and High Bank Distillery is giving away free burgers for a year. You heard me. Free burgers for a year during 614's Burger and Beer Week, October 14th through the 19th. High Bank will be hosting a Battle of the Burgers. Stop in any of their 3 locations in Grandview, Gahanna, and Westerville. Order an $8 burger. Upload it to social media. Don't forget to tag High Bank, and you'll be entered to win free burgers for a year. Check out highbankco.com/battle for more details. Battle of the Burgers at High Bank, October 14th through the 19th.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Drive into autumn in a 2024 Ford Bronco at up to $9,500 off MSRP. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months for a limited time. Drive away a new Ford Edge SE and save up to $7,500 off MSRP. For these deals and more, get to Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of wide receiver Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Buddy Wells. Let's get you caught up on all the college football games in progress right now. We'll start with top 25 teams. In Tuscaloosa, number 7 Alabama has retaken the lead over South Carolina. The Crimson Tide lead at 20-19. Number 10 Clemson is on the road at Wake Forest. The Tigers are rolling in that game, 42-14. And number 21 Missouri is up big. They're up 45-3 at UMass. A couple of games in the Big Ten right now. Washington is at Iowa. The Hawkeyes lead that game 37-10. And Wisconsin is cruising. They're up 35-7 at Rutgers. All of those games are in the fourth quarter. In baseball, in the winner-take-all Game 5 of the ALDS, Lane Thomas had a grand slam just a few moments ago as the Guardians have taken a 5-1 lead over the Tigers. Right now, they're in the top of the 6th inning. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, Bronco Explorer, Mustang Mach-E, and more. Ride into autumn with Valley Ford of Columbus. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan.
How do you know it's Buckeye game day? Because I've ripped my shirt off in celebration. Do you like the Brutus tattoo on my chest? This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Welcome back in. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Matty Ice, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher are going to light up right now the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Go out to Eugene, Oregon. Our guy Adam King from 10 TV joins us now. AK, I need you to put on your Bob Ross afro right now and paint the scene for us. How is Eugene looking, my man?
You know, I got to give them credit out here. It's beautiful. It is absolutely. The city itself is beautiful with the mountains, and they certainly love their ducks.
Yep.
I don't think I've seen a human being that wasn't wearing yellow and green the last 3 days. So they're ready for this one. To paint the scene, I never thought like this before, but if you've ever been up to Vermont or Maine, very similar looking here in Eugene.
Yeah, the Pac Northwest is severely underrated as far as vacation destinations. Adam, I know that place is crazy. I know you can feel it in the air, probably can smell the local vitamins in the air. I know it's going to be a good time. What are you most excited about with this blackout and these white jerseys that Ohio State is wearing? What are you looking forward to tonight that gives you confidence for the Buckeyes?
There's a couple things. I love that they know what they're walking into tonight. I almost said tomorrow. It's here. And they understand the challenge that they face, and they're relishing it. Sometimes you hear teams say, like, oh, we're, and Ryan will sometimes say, we're focusing on ourselves. We're not, it doesn't matter the opponent. Like, they know it matters the opponent. They know that what's to come here is huge. It's going to be peak college football. What you're about to see, I mean, I go back to Notre Dame last year. There are just moments where it's just the pinnacle of college football, and it's coming tonight in Austin Stadium.
Hey, Adam, so obviously this is a kickoff to what we hope is a big Big Ten rival in the making, or at least one of those big matchups. Oregon's one of those teams that we were happy to welcome in to the Big Ten because this could be awesome. In a place like that, it's awesome to add that to your Big Ten schedule. But so you're out there now, you're interacting with fans, people. What's the environment or vibe from that fan base knowing Ohio State's in town? Is it a confidence, or is there a little bit of a, we know this one matters and there's some guys in town?
They have been brutally honest that they are very nervous. I mean, a lot of fans have told me that they are not as confident as other away teams I've seen. They are aware what Ohio State brings to the table. They are confident in the talent on their team. It's not that they don't think they can win. It's that they know how good Ohio State is. I will say a couple of them have made some Big Ten comments that they're not the happiest that they're in the Big Ten, which is fine. That's okay. But they've also been, incredibly welcoming to Ohio State fans. And there are a lot of Ohio State fans here. Everywhere you look, there is scarlet and gray. I don't know if it's just because everybody's out experiencing the town, but every place I've been, I've seen groups of Ohio State fans.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Adam King from 10 TV joining us live from Eugene. A.K.A. Pete Thamel reported this morning on game day that, arguably the best defensive player for Oregon and Jordan Burch suffered a non-contact lower body injury in practice on Thursday. And I know that report just came out a few hours ago. Have you heard anything out there walking around on the grounds, or maybe some people that cover Oregon, the status of Jordan Burch? What have you heard about that on your side of the country right now?
Well, what I think is pretty interesting is there was a message board I saw floating around Twitter that this had happened 2 days ago. And message boards, man, they're a wild place. But
stay off of
they get things right every now and then. Yeah, I don't get on the message boards, but people, get the screenshots. And so I had never heard anything else say it. Nobody else, confirmed it. And then randomly this morning, Thamel puts it out, and I'm like, man, whoever that random source was for that guy on that message board must know something. I haven't heard anything else. I will tell you, with Burch, without Burch, it's still a great defensive line, but it would be a huge loss because he is one of the best players in college football. And I don't know, the last time Ohio State played Oregon, they didn't have Thibodeau, and they still did their thing. So,
absolutely, man. So I want to ask you, just because I don't like Dan Lanning. I know he's a great coach. He's risen up the ranks. He's got it the hard way. Adam, this whole thing about him doubling Jeremiah Smith, triple teaming Jeremiah Smith, and then also it was an Ohio reporter out there. I think this week he kicked her out, right? Or something like that. He's just he's creating this arch nemesis to Ohio. What are your vibes with Dan Lanning? I don't like him.
Well, it's really interesting that you say that, because I was talking to Dan Lanning, and he said that DeVier Posey guy I really don't like. And I thought, wow.
That's all right. Yeah,
what an interesting rivalry that's brewing here. I think Dan Lanning is one of the best coaches in college football, up and coming. I think that's a little bit – you have to create something here. There has to be – because you have to manufacture a rivalry here. As much as we think – 30 years from now, it'll be a rivalry, we have no doubt. You kind of have to manufacture it right now. Yeah. And on the Oregon's end, they don't. They played Ohio State one time that they walked off the field with a win. The others, Ohio State 9 times, won, including a national title. So you have to create something that feels like a rivalry. And with that, I think that's what he's just trying to draw up.
Yep. I agree. You do have to create something, especially out of one like this. Yeah. Adam, do me a favor when you're out there. If you hear anybody from Ohio State using the term "that team out west," tell them to stop it.
Yeah.
Tell them to stop it, because that you don't want to create it that way.
Don't create it.
No, because that's what they want. If they're asking you to be our rival, no. We'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes.
So put a pin in that if you would, or just put a stop to that. Last thing I wanted to ask you, obviously our guys traveled out there yesterday. It's a pretty quick turnaround. Do you have any insight on how that has gone? Obviously, guys aren't going to be, out there gas. You might not know, but any insight on how you think that might have an effect?
Well, I'll tell you this much. I have said the word Buckeye time more in the past 2 days than in my entire life. And that's what they're keeping it on. That's what Ryan said 4 times when they got off the bus. They are on Buckeye time. They are treating this like an Eastern time game. They are strictly they don't even know what time it is out west. They are still in Columbus, Ohio in their minds. That's what he said their goal was, and that's how they've structured everything from point A to Z.
That's actually, I hadn't heard that yet, but that's really good.
Yeah, I like
good insight and a good way to approach it, I would think.
Absolutely.
AK, we'll get you out of here on this one. Let the folks know where they can catch you, TV coverage, all that good stuff, social media presence. Where will you be the rest of the day?
So we're heading over to the stadium here in just a little bit. Make sure you watch Game Time with Ryan Day every Saturday morning, 9 a.m., the official coaches show. And then tonight, wall-to-wall sports, 10 TV news at 6, 10 TV news at 11. We'll have you covered post-game show galore from this huge top 3 matchup. I've got the score 31-20, so you guys don't need to watch the game. That's what it's going to be.
There you go.
Perfect. I like that, Adam.
There he is. He's the man that sits on the Iron Throne for 10 TV. He's Adam King. AK, appreciate you as always, man, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks since we got to bye next week, my man. See you.
See ya. I'll bring you back some trinkets from Oregon.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Adam was on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. When we come back, we will go behind enemy lines with James Crepia. He covers the Ducks for the Oregonian. You will get a complete breakdown of the scene and what Oregon can bring to the field. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan pregame show right here on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota truck. Now through November 4th, get 1.9 APR financing or $2,000 customer cash on a new 24 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or lease a Tacoma SR Double Cab for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Nobody builds better trucks than Toyota. Let's go places.
Bobcat Enterprises is your family-owned partner for landscaping and construction projects. Bobcat Enterprises sells and services a full line of Bobcat equipment, including compact track loaders, excavators, tractors, and more. Plus, Bobcat rents compact equipment and attachments. With Bobcat, you can rent the machine and own the results. Keep your business local. Stop by Bobcat Enterprises in Hilliard, Reynoldsburg, or Zanesville, and find current specials and our full line of products by visiting bobcatent.com today.
You want Jersey Mike's signature sub, you get a number 13 original Italian. You want a dramatic radio idea? You get me. Like this. I'm the 7th-string quarterback and the other 6 quarterbacks go down. The coach yells, DeVito, you're in. The crowd is worried until I throw a touchdown. But the other team is celebrating. Apparently, I threw the Jersey Mike's number 13 original Italian I was eating on the sidelines. Whoops. The number 13 original Italian, Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC is open for enrollment and has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Sunday, a day of rest, relaxation, and Browns football. Catch the Brownies as they head to Philly to battle the Eagles.
Live coverage starts Sunday at 11 with the Kick at 1.
Your Central Ohio home for Browns football, the Fan.
Thank you for calling Great Lakes. Great Lakes Kia.
Do you like scary movies?
Nah, they don't scare me.
What does scare you?
High car payments. They make me want to scream.
And at Great Lakes Kia?
We have brand new Kias under $5 a day. Come pick one out.
Maybe I'm already here.
Cool. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorrento LX. All 3 under $5 a day.
That's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
At Great Lakes Kia.
What if I have scary credit?
No problem. Get approved with 0% financing.
Perfect. And I'm right behind you.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus, GreatLakesKia.com.
Can I hang up now?
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited Truck Month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
What a difference hours make as it warms up nicely for us in the afternoon. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s to low 80s, and we'll see that sunshine continue throughout most of the day, with clouds increasing going into tonight. Partly cloudy skies overnight with lows dropping right around 60. And for Sunday, we have isolated rain chances in the forecast. Otherwise, expect a mix of sun and clouds and still mild with our daytime highs right around 80. But we will have breezy winds in the forecast. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo.
It's game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
Up early, stay late. Don't change the channel. You're home for the Buckeyes. The Fan. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Getting you ready for another Buckeye victory. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The Fans behind enemy lines.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers. Visit your local Central Ohio Ford dealer today.
Behind Enemy Lines this week is going to be brought to you by James Crepia. He covers the Oregon Ducks for the Oregonian. We caught up with him on Rothman and Ice, and here's that interview for you now.
Give us a little taste for Buckeye fan that's going to be watching on TV, for Buckeye fan that's traveling to Eugene, Oregon, beautiful place. Autzen Stadium, they pack it in tight, right? If they get to standing room only, they'll be about 60K. Do they still get cell service out there in the mountains? What's that atmosphere like?
Yeah, this will definitely be, this will probably be a record crowd. Almost definitely. I know that certainly whatever may be available in the secondary market, I believe, is about the only place you can find it. It's been standing room only for quite some time now. I know that they are literally over capacity in the press box. For those who are not fortunate enough to have a seat, and there's over 100 of those, there are people stuck on the roof, and they may run out of room up there as well. So quite literally, they are packing it in every place possible to get everybody in there as best as possible, and to whatever the fire marshal will allow. But this one will probably be a record crowd for Autzen, and what will be the biggest home game in program history, first top 5 matchup ever in program history. And you add to it that it's a night game for the East Coast. It's a late afternoon turning into night game by way of local for a 4:30 kick. So I know for Ohio State's record book, I'm going to be curious to see how Jerry Emick moves this one and attributes this one, because I believe they call it after 5 for a night game for their statistical purposes. But by the time this one's over, it'll be after 8 o'clock local. So however which way you put it, it will be an electric atmosphere for sure. Massive recruiting weekend. Weather's looking good ahead of it. So no, this should be everything that you would want for a stage in a massive matchup like this in college football, particularly an on-campus matchup and a conference matchup, the stakes and the like. This is what you would order up and ask for.
As great as it sounds, and I'm sure it will be, 3-6-1 is the record at home against top 5. So how much does that atmosphere really matter at the end of the night, you think?
Yeah, and that's certainly one aspect of it for sure, historically speaking. And if you go back in the record books also and say, all right, what's Oregon's record against number 1 or number 2 teams all time? And there's only one win, and that was against Florida State in the Rose Bowl in the 2014 playoffs. Having said that, most all of those matchups came before Oregon was what most people know of, and certainly what the players on the field in the last generation know of as Oregon. Most all of these statistics, most all of these records and numbers come from a bygone era, and that doesn't mean they didn't happen. That doesn't mean they should be, should or shouldn't be dismissed or have some credibility. But ultimately, when most people hear and think of Oregon now, they think of the last 25 to 30 years. That's basically it. Certainly maybe 1990 on, or the mid to late 90s on, since Oregon really took off to being the program that we know it today. If you want to go back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s, yeah, there were some dark ages in there where some really good USC teams came in and some really good Washington teams under Don James, and those teams came in and certainly had their way. But none of that will have any bearing here. Is it one of the better environments in college football? Absolutely. That said, whether it's the listed 54,000 or it'll probably top 59, near 60 on Saturday night, on a per capita basis, it is an electric and loud atmosphere, no doubt about it. It plays far louder than that. It plays closer to the upper 70s, maybe 80 some odd thousand. But let's not mistake it for it. This is not the Horseshoe. This is not Beaver Stadium. This is not the Big House. This is not more than a half a dozen spots in the SEC. It's half the size of those buildings. So is it really loud? And will it be probably the loudest it may have ever been on Saturday? Yes, it will be a factor at times. But, ultimately, has Ohio State played in awfully loud environments, both at home and on the road, that are just plain louder or bigger venues? Yes. But will it be a factor, and put aside, again, antiquated statistics in some ways, because, yeah, we can pull those, but you could also say, all right, how about what Oregon's record is as a top 5 team at home? And that's good. So, again, depending on which one you want to pick out. But, yes, I'm very much aware of some of the history, but much of that history is from, like I say, a bygone era as far as the Oregon program is concerned.
All right, let's take it to the field. I want to ask you about the most important position, and that's quarterback in Dillon Gabriel. You go from Bo Nix under Dan Lanning. He turned into a first-round pick, and now you got Dillon Gabriel coming up from Oklahoma. What have you learned about him throughout the first handful of games? And for the Buckeye fans that haven't caught him yet with their own eyes, what should they expect from Dillon Gabriel?
Well, I think for some who hadn't had a chance to watch him all that much, and granted, we're talking about a 6th-year quarterback, so it's not like you had lack of opportunity to see the literally most experienced quarterback in college football. But I guess, some fans don't necessarily tune in across the country every weekend. I think some have learned that Dillon has a knack for holding on to the football a wee bit too long at times. And when he gets off schedule, sometimes, and I mean off schedule by way of timing, not off schedule in terms of behind the sticks, because they really haven't been behind the sticks all that much. Sometimes that doesn't go out, doesn't pan out very well. In the last couple of weeks, that's been an issue inside the red zone. His 3 interceptions on the season have all come in the last 2 games. They've all been inside the red zone, and they've come on forced throws by his own admission. So that's something that I think fans have learned a bit, not only in those errors, but even in the first couple of games when the offensive line protection was an issue. A lot of it was on the line, and a couple of the pressures that happened, a couple of the sacks that happened were also because he was holding on to the ball. I think fans have learned that a bit. I don't think that should really come as a surprise. Perhaps Ohio State fans, because whether they've watched, Dillon either previously at Oklahoma or UCF, maybe they would have picked up on that a bit, certainly. That should not come again as a shock. These are the things that, to me, when you were bringing in Dillon Gabriel as Oregon, you knew a couple of things. You knew that he was not Bo Nix and that he's probably not going to be a first-round pick. And that just has not just has to do with talent. That has to do with Bo Nix is like 6'3". Dillon Gabriel is generously 5'10". First off, second off, like I say, there are other things, particularly holding on to the football at times. To say nothing of some of the caliber of opponents that he's played, historically speaking, outside of the Red River game last year in Texas, where it was a great comeback, great performance, and against a legitimate team, legitimate defense. A lot of the teams that he played and put up some great numbers against simply were not the caliber of talent that Nix had either in the SEC when he was at Auburn or here at Oregon. This was the chance, this was the final year opportunity to see heightened competition, be surrounded with the most talent, and probably play behind the best offensive line he was going to play behind. After they've shored up some things, or they believe they've shored up some things on the O-line, when Gabriel's had time to operate and time to read the defense accordingly, and when Will Stein has put not just him, but the entire offense in some really, really good play calls and well-designed plays, they've hit, they've delivered. So his accuracy and efficiency when he has time And that's not all the time in the world, and that's not excessive time. No, they're actually succeeding a lot when he gets the ball out in 2.5 seconds or less. And that's because he's able to be decisive. It's easy reads or it's well-drawn-up plays. And when he can do that, he is one of the most lethal, accurate, and efficient quarterbacks in the country. He has lived up to the billing in that way. He has also, like I say, though, lived up to the billing of when he is off of those things, things can go awry. And I think some in the masses here have learned that a bit and obviously want him to curb that very badly, very quickly against the number one defense in the country because they know they cannot afford those kind of errors if they're going to pull a win here against Ohio State and set themselves up to get to Indianapolis at the end of the season.
All right, James, we got about a minute left here. Let me ask you about what they believe, maybe what you believe that changed from those two very early scares where they appeared very overhyped this season to now kind of riding it and feeling pretty decent going into this game. Those games against Idaho and Boise State obviously were scares. They get through them. What was going on then, and was it real, and what have they changed?
Simplest and easiest thing to say simply is, look, the offensive line was a bit of a mess the first couple of weeks. They were changing lineups. They had 4 different lineups that changed 11 times, over 57 plays against Boise State. So that should tell you, without injury, by the way. So that just shows you they really were trying just about anything. They stuck with one of those combinations ever since. That's been a major factor. So continuity on the line, consistency on the line, and overall performance and execution on the line. They changed a few things schematically more than just the lineup. That's the biggest part. However, that came against Oregon State, UCLA, Michigan State. Let's not confuse any of those teams. If you put an all-star team of those 3 defenses together, it would pale in comparison to this Ohio State defense. So they shored up some things, and no pressure allowed is no pressure allowed. Yes, that's success. Achieve that against inferior competition. This competition is a different stratosphere. They know that. So how valid those conclusions and those fixes are, we'll find out on Saturday. But elsewhere, look, defensively, you want to talk about Boise State. Hey, Ashton Jeanty hit some big runs. Mm-hmm. He's going to do that against a lot of people. He continues to do that against a lot of people. Frankly, Oregon containing him for 20 out of the 24 or so carries he had on the night was a pretty good day at the office. It's that the other 4 made up a massive chunk of his night, and he had a big night, and credit to him. And that's probably the best running back in the country. But I think it's going to stand the test of time in terms of Oregon's performance against him and ultimately, obviously, beating them. It's one of the best wins of the season for any of the undefeated teams thus far, and they could still very well be a playoff team at Boise State. So what have they fixed? Offensive line. Defense has been consistent all the way. And, yes, against, again, weaker running backs compared to Jeanty, which, again, is about to change this weekend. They've done far, far better, but they've been consistent on defense outside of those couple of plays against Jeanty really across the board.
Outstanding scene setter from our friend James Crepia, beat reporter Oregonian. Thanks, my man. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, guys.
There he is behind enemy lines for this week, James Crepia from the Oregonian. When we come back, it's who's got the heat time. Who are we cranking some pressure up on this week around college football or the NFL? We'll let you know next. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
No, I did it. First down! Yes!
Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
30% of D1 athletes report betting-related threats and harassment after games. This threatens the safety and mental health of students like Jade.
I'm a college athlete, and I'm more than a bet. When you threaten my life and my family because you lost money, it really scares me.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
A.J. Hawk won a national title, a Super Bowl, and a Lombardi Award, but his weekly appearance on Morning Juice, Fridays at 8:33, is the real highlight of his career. If he tells you otherwise, he's lying.
Sponsored by FanDuel.
The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony here, and over the years, I've tried to stay in the fight, keep playing, but every now and then, something gets me. Shoulder pain, a knee tweak, a recent bout of golfer's elbow. When the weekend warrior injuries happen, the first call I make is to the specialists at Orthopedic One. I don't mess around. I want the #1 ranked place for orthopedics in Ohio. They've earned the right to be called Central Ohio's most trusted team of orthopedic experts. Get started at orthopedic1.com. No referral needed, but if you want one, I got you.
Gambling too much or just can't seem to cut your losses? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, pub and gambling counselor at Maryhaven. Whether it's you or someone you love, we're here to help you control gambling before it controls you. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven is here for you no matter what. And that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Confidential and judgment-free, go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Welcome to the Plus Side, where a AAA Plus membership means that an empty gas tank won't keep you from a full day, and where a dead battery can't stop you from being the life of the party. Because on the Plus Side, roadside mishaps don't have to ruin your day. With AAA Plus, tire changes, battery swaps, and emergency fuel are just a tap away. AAA gets to you faster, and if you need a tow, we'll take you further. Become a member today and experience peace of mind on the Plus Side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
When the leaves fall, so do the prices at Valley. Drive into autumn in a 2024 Ford Bronco at up to $9,500 off MSRP. Lease a new Escape Active, just $289 a month for 36 months for a limited time. Drive away a new Ford Edge SE and save up to $7,500 off MSRP. For these deals and more, get to Valley Ford of Columbus, the official dealership of wide receiver Carnell Tate.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
Brought to you by Valley Ford of Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Buddy Wells. We got some final scores from around the country here in college football. We'll start with top 25 teams. In Tuscaloosa, number 7 Alabama, they stopped a 2-point conversion with just under a minute left in the game as the Crimson Tide beat South Carolina 27-25. Number 10 Clemson goes on the road and they hammered Wake Forest 49-14. And number 21 Missouri rolls to a 45-3 win at UMass. We had a couple of games in the Big Ten. They were both blowouts. Iowa, they were at home and they rolled Washington 40-16, and Wisconsin went on the road and whipped Rutgers 42-7. In baseball, in the winner-take-all Game 5 of the ALDS, the Guardians currently lead the Tigers 5-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. And of course, tonight at 7:30, it's number 2 Ohio State on the road against number 3 Oregon. This update is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150 to F-750, Valley Ford of Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters. Breaking sports news when it happens here on The Fan.
This is the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your flagship home for Buckeye football, the Fan, Ohio sports destination. As you prepare for another Buckeye football Saturday, one very important question remains. Who's got the heat?
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Let Logan Services bring the heat to your home this season. Free same-day estimates, next-day installation. Logan Services.
All right, let's get into it, fellas. Matty, DeVier, Posey, Dane, Sanzenbacher. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show. Who's got the heat? Depot, lead us off this week, my man.
Starting here in about 3 to 4 minutes, Michael Hawkins Jr. has the heat. Freshman, only about 18 years old. Doesn't have to be perfect versus Texas, but he will have the heat because in this matchup that is historic at the Cotton Bowl, the Red Rivalry Shootout, 119 matchups, and none of them has a true freshman ever started.
Wow.
Crazy.
He's got the heat, bro.
Yeah, that atmosphere, it looks to be electric as it always is. Historic rivalry right there. Quinn Ewers is back. Got a fresh fade, got a fresh haircut. We were looking at him coming into it'll be interesting to see, does he have any rust in this game? But, yeah, Texas, Oklahoma doesn't get much better than that. So 3:30-ish kick for them, and then we'll end the night with a banger of a game out in Eugene. Dane, who you got, man? Who you putting some heat on this week?
Another one just about getting ready to kick off. It's getting a little steamy out in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I'm putting the heat in the LA Coliseum on the USC Trojans.
Miller Mawson gang.
USC is hosting Penn State. They're about getting ready to kick off. Now, USC is not the welcome party they were expecting or wanted into the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
2 losses already, Michigan, and last week lost to Minnesota. They've got to be feeling some heat right now. Now, a Penn State team, really good, coming into your house. If you go down there, now your third loss to a Big Ten team in your new conference, that's just a bad look and not what it probably hurts DeVier's feelings. You know he loves the Trojans.
He is. I was wrong about that.
So, I mean, I think if you're in USC, I think the Trojans have to be feeling some major heat.
No, go ahead, Depot.
But I wanted to touch on this. I feel like Penn State hasn't left State Valley yet, or State College, Happy Valley. Like they've been playing at home all year, so this is a big game for them, right? And then what's on USC's side is that there are teams that are 1-8 going west. The one team that has a dub.
Who is it?
Dane, who is the one team going west?
Those Hoosiers, man.
The Hoosiers, the only team.
You called them America's team.
The America's team. The America's team. And so if they can Penn State overcome those West Coast travel battles, just like Ohio State has to overcome today, it's an interesting thing, man. I like that.
And USC has struggled coming out east.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Both their losses, they've been on the road.
Yep.
So, I mean, it goes both ways as both these, the old Big Ten and new Big Ten try to figure each other out.
I like it. You guys brought up some good ones. I'm going to the nightcap. And I'm putting the heat on the Kansas State Cats. I was going to say Wild Hogs.
The Wild Hogs.
I don't know. I had Arkansas in my mind somewhere. But Kansas State, give me the Wildcats going into Boulder.
Ooh.
Taking on Shedeur Sanders.
Avery Johnson?
He's
scary.
He is electric. But here's the deal. You got one loss on your resume to BYU. You got killed 38-9. You are the favorite on the road in Dion's house. So Kansas State, I need to see something tonight because we know Colorado's very top heavy. Superstar talent. Travis Hunter, he may be the Heisman Trophy winner. Shedeur Sanders may be a top 15 pick in the upcoming draft, maybe even higher than that. But if you let this one slide, the Big 12 has shown us that it is just crazy this year, right? Mm-hmm. Colorado has a chance to really take a big leap here and maybe sit atop the Big 12. So I'm looking at the ranked opponent in this one. 18th ranked Kansas State going on the road and taking on unranked Colorado as a favorite and putting the heat on them.
That's a good one
tonight. So
that's a tough place to go into.
It is, man. Both teams are 4-1 coming into this one, so it could be a very entertaining game. Let's get back to some Oregon and Ohio State. And just because DeVier loves this guy, let's hear from Dan Lanning. Here he is on the challenge preparing for Ohio State.
You can't take away one thing knowing that something else is a strength as well, right? And they're not really limited in what their strengths are. They're able to run the ball really well. They're able to throw it well. Talented at multiple positions. Quarterback can run the ball as well. So there's a lot of things that present threats, and I think you have to be sound in everything you come up with. Be aware of any risk that you're going to be taking, and when is that risk worth it or not, and be able to play sound football.
Before I hand it back to you guys, I do want you guys to hear this clip as former wide receivers. Here's his take on Jeremiah and Emeka.
Stop, go. They can catch the ball and they can turn it into a big play right away. It's not necessarily always averaged up a target. It's way down the field. It's their ability to catch it in space and get vertical. They block really, really well in the perimeter. And those guys have big catch radiuses. So you see them win on balls that you would call 50-50 balls. A lot of times they win on contested balls. So do a really good job there.
With Coach Day and Coach Lanning at the ages that they are, and look, college football, it changes so much year in and year out. We just see so much movement. There's potential here that these two guys could be going at it for a long time with Dan Lanning's age. Coach Day is not an old man in the coaching world by any means. But Dan Lanning, this is one of those matchups for him, right, that has to, maybe be a little personal, right? Because you can really set the tone as a program if you can clip in Ohio State. And I know that this is not your guy.
Wait.
I know this is not your guy.
What kind of beef? I'll fight for Dane here. What kind of beef does he have with my dude Ryan?
No,
man?
I'm not saying he has any beef. I'm just saying maybe we could look back at this matchup years from now and say this could be the first of many good matchups between these two.
Oh, I'm watching pregame, postgame. If he snuffs my man on a handshake or like that handshake shoulder push away.
Yeah.
I'm watching all of that today. Mm-hmm. Dan, hey, keep your hands off, bro. I'm watching all of that today. I just feel like he has something up his sleeve, man.
So much. What?
Penn State they only have 4 away games this year. So this is a huge game.
Oh, you're going back to that. Okay.
Yeah. No, because I finally got it pulled up.
Yeah, it is.
This is a huge game for them, and this is their only West Coast game.
Yeah,
so
I'm looking forward to it.
They have a strong home schedule.
For, obviously any Coach Lanning or any coaches in this situation, it's kind of like the Bill Belichick thing of, over complimenting the team you're playing. Like all of them do it. They will make you feel, because that's the thing. You want people to feel like, oh yeah, we are that good. We are this. So I kind of take what he says with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I think he mentioned Will Howard running the ball as a strength. I have to think as he's watching the tape and he knows all of those weapons that Ohio State has, I don't think he wants to see Jeremiah Smith with the one-handers. He doesn't want to see Emeka's now coming into. He's probably feeling great off of the last game. Like he finally had his blow-up game. So he can say whatever he wants in the press conference, but I'm betting behind closed doors he's like, how do we keep it in 18's hands?
And how do you?
And it's not a knock on him. It's just how do we make him beat us? Preferably make him beat us on the ground.
And to Dane's credit on that, real quick, every wall that we've hit as an offense, Jeremiah didn't have the ball. Like his big plays have opened things up for us. His one-hander in Iowa, his Michigan State back-to-back plays. I'm thinking about the stalemate versus Marshall, his long run. Like this.
That's a good point.
You have to stop 4. Like you're game planning for a freshman. If we can take him out the game and make everybody else beat us, like Carnell Tate hasn't had his big game yet. Emeka had his game, but it's like we got to take 4 out if I'm Oregon.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And for the running backs too. There's been plays, the guys that have brought electricity, have electrified that offense. Mm-hmm. Will, for all he's done great, hasn't had one of those that oh yeah, did you see that run he made? That really turned it around for Ohio State. That's just not what he does. So you're absolutely right. They don't want to see the Jeremiah Smith catch that really livens up the Ohio State crowd that's there and the team. They don't want that.
The one-handed touchdown grab against Iowa where he just at the end, get off me. That was just grown man business right there from Jeremiah Smith. Good. He's built different, man. He's built different. East to West is next. Final thoughts on Ohio State and Oregon right around the corner. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Pregame Show right here on The Fan.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford. That means we got the car you need at the price you want. But don't take it from me. Hear it from
Ohio State captain Travion Henderson.
Reichert has what I'm looking for.
Jack Sawyer.
Grew up watching these guys on TV. My family's bought tons of cars for them.
Cody Simon.
You get the right car at Reichert.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
Thousands of vehicles are waiting. ReichertFord.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Hey fans, it's Bobby Carpenter here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine that helps restore aching joints. So if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, it's time to finally get relief, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love with QC Kinetics. No pain, no meds, no surgery, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation with my friend Dr. Ray Tesner. They have locations in Dublin or Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544 or go to qckinetics.com/Columbus.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Common Man and T-Bone.
There are real people out there. What are we drawing pictures for?
That's right. Yes.
Sound like Dumb DeVier. Hey, what are you doing? Drawing pictures. Got real people out there trying to put food on the table.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth. And you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC is open for enrollment and has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like America's best-selling car, Toyota Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through November 4th, you can lease a Camry LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Can you smell it? Buckeye football is in the air. You're listening to the Toyota Fan Pregame Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Key Bank. Key Bank opens doors.
Your home for the Buckeyes, the Fan. It's the Fan's east to west.
All right, welcome back in. Couple ones in the books already, fellas, and both of them were just blowouts. Washington, they take care of Iowa on the road, 40-16. Wisconsin goes into Rutgers' house and beats them 42-7. So blowouts all over the place right now in the Big Ten. Friday night, last night, Northwestern handled Maryland 37-10. Right now, just kicking off, you got Purdue at Illinois. So that's Brett Bielema taking on his old defensive coordinator and Ryan Walters. Dane brought up Penn State and USC. That's just now kicking off as well. Obviously, at 7:30, it'll be Ohio State and Oregon. And then the only other game on the Big Ten schedule this week is going to be Minnesota at UCLA. Let's get back to some sound here in our final thoughts. I want to hear from Chip Kelly, and here he is on Oregon's defense and some of the threats they have there.
I think the way Jordan Birch is playing right now up front, they've got a lot of seniors on their defense. I think there's 9 of them in that starting lineup. Everybody in the back end, the 2 linebackers, the 1 linebacker, Bassa, seems like he's been there for a long time. And then Betcher, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, number 28, who's a really good player, baseball player, has played really, really well. It kind of seems like he's the heart and soul of that defense. And then they have veterans in the secondary. I know they're transfer kids, but they're all seniors that have played a lot of football. So I think they're really gelling together as a group. They're going to present a lot of different looks. So we've got to be ready ready for everything they can throw at you, and they're going to throw a lot of things at you. So, that's the challenge when you're going to play a team like this. So you get excited about it.
Off the top in that clip, he mentioned Jordan Burch. If you're just now hopping in, there's, massive questions about Jordan Burch's availability. He suffered an injury in practice, non-contact injury. Whenever we hear that, or at least I hear that scares me as far as for football players, because that never really sounds like good news. You guys were having a really good conversation before we came back on the air about the run game and the potential of that and what that could mean today for Ohio State's offense. I want to bring that to the air now because I thought that was really good insight from you guys. Talk about the run game and how important that could be specifically in a game like this.
Yeah, I think Chip has wanted to and been successful at having an incredibly balanced offense so far. Yep. I mean, and almost to the point where I think the numbers, and I haven't looked them up recently, but we're like staggeringly equal on how successful our pass game and our run game has been. So, I mean, that's right where you want to be as an offensive coordinator. But he always obviously wants to have a strong run game, as any good offense will. Well, Oregon has a very good defensive line. That's a strength of their team, right? And a lot of times in these games, it might be, you might think of it as like, oh, we want to attack somebody's weakness. But if you can attack their strength and be successful, you've really crippled them. So that's why I think it's so important to watch Ohio State if they can run the ball. So if you can get these running backs going, if you can start to pierce that strength of Oregon, how far that goes. Because if you attack strength and you overcome it, you start to dominate in something that's their strength, man, that can turn the tide of a game.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that, obviously getting the run game going on the road can quiet the crowd.
Yeah.
Just picking up first downs on the ground is demoralizing. We talked about Dan Lanning praising Jeremiah Smith, and if they have him circled and the game plan is to take him out of the game, right? Because you look at Ohio State, all of their big electric plays and the offense really getting off to, a fast start after he has a big play. I mean, he just builds so much momentum. If they take him out of the game, he's gone, right? He's triple team. We can't get him the ball. Is this a scenario where Chip and Ryan start to misplace him at number 3 receiver, right? Or do they move him around like they move Marvin Harrison and Jackson Smith and Jigba around? Our offense has that capability. But we haven't seen a huge game from Carnell Tate, right? He missed last week. Obviously, Emeka circled. I think Carnell is going to play a big part in the passing game if Jeremiah and Emeka are gone. And we've been waiting on Carnell to have his Buckeye moment. We've been waiting on Carnell to have his big play. And tonight in Autzen Stadium out west could be that night.
That's good stuff. I want to go to the defense because when Jim Knowles was hired, he was hired for games like this. We've seen this defense over the last 2 to 3 years get better and better. And this year, those guys have been really good. You brought it up earlier. You highlighted it as well. Second half, they've been really putting the chokehold on a lot of teams. Ohio State, 15 straight opponents, they have not allowed a quarterback to throw for more than 200 passing yards. This game, I think, and you talked about this earlier, Dane, and you brought up maybe a little worry factor with the quick passing game. We talk so much about the offense and their ability to this point to not show everything that they have in their bag. I think you could say the same thing potentially about the defense right now. And I'm curious what Jim Knowles can do as a veteran defensive coordinator to maybe play some games with a veteran quarterback on the other side and Dylan Gabriel. So that aspect of the game, I'm curious to see what he can do because you weren't brought here to beat the Western Michigans and the Marshalls of the world. These are the games that you got to bring it home. So Jim Knowles, for me, with plenty of veteran presence on the defensive side of the ball, I cannot wait to see what he has cooked up. And maybe you don't have to go anything different, but I'm curious thinking about him as a guy that's been there and done that for a long time and now knows that I got guys comfortable inside my defense that maybe we can throw out a couple different things that we haven't put on film just yet.
I hope our defense doesn't play it safe like we did first half of Michigan State game. You kind of saw that second half adjustments to where they became aggressive. And if you ask, I hope Cade McNamara gave Dylan Gabriel a call this week and said, hey, bro, like these guys are physical and they're going to hit you in the mouth. And I'm excited for our D-line, our DBs to be able to and our linebackers to have a chance to hit Dylan Gabriel in the mouth. I think we've been playing like really violent this year. And I think it's been kind of like just like swept under the rug at how violent we've been playing. Like we even got some 15-yard penalties. But I think on this stage, we're going to see some hits and some physical play on the defensive side that we're going to be like, it's everybody in the country is going to say, this is the best defense in the country after tonight. Like, and I'm just so excited for these guys to display it.
Dane, hit me with your final thoughts, man.
Yeah, and I think I'll close on kind of this thread on Jim Knowles. And I think that he mentioned even after the Michigan State game, hey, I thought they were going to do one thing and they did something else. Because sometimes that's the nature of being a defensive coordinator. Yeah. You've got to react to what they're doing. You're giving your best guess, but you don't know, right? So that can happen. What he's been great at is playing it live. Like doing, and whether it's in-game adjustments, halftimes, and sometimes those things aren't even like you think halftime adjustments, like sitting down with your players saying they're doing this, do this instead. But these coordinators, they're playing the game live. Yeah. You know, it's like not a video game to them, but in that element, they're like, I know what I have in my bag. How do I put it forward? And we've seen him time and time again. Might take a quarter, but he gets them figured out.
Yeah, he does.
And he is not only was he brought in for games like this team coming into Ohio Stadium a few years back is one of the reasons he's here. You know, that was a defense that needed help. And I think everybody that was at that game, and I was at that game, saw them struggle. And you're thinking as Ohio State fans, what is going on here? What is happening? Yeah. And that's when they go and get Jim Knowles. And so, I mean, this is kind of coming full circle this evening.
It's a resume game.
Yeah.
It's a resume game. We've been talking about this game for months, and we're just a few hours away. I cannot wait, fellas. You were incredible today. Folks, thanks so much for listening. We will talk to you in 2 weeks. Time to hand it over to my main man, Anthony Rothman. Tim May, I believe he's out in Eugene, and Andy Katzenmoor. They're going to continue coverage right here on The Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
At KeyBank, we know a small moment like,
whoa, my kid's got a serious backhand.
Can lead to an even bigger question like,
tennis campus how much?
And that's the type of moment where we'll meet you to help you build a savings plan for expenses big and small so your money can make money. Mike, how's that sound?
Sounds like match point.
Sounds like love.
We could serve up tennis puns all day.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank member FDIC.
Get out there and have some fun in a new Toyota with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the best-selling RAV4. Now through November 4th, get 4.99 APR financing on a new gas-powered 2024 RAV4. Or lease a RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When an orthopedic injury or condition gets in the way of life, there is nothing more important than finding a physician you can trust. At Orthopedic One, you'll find Central Ohio's most trusted team of orthopedic experts, ready to listen to your concerns and work with you toward the best possible outcome. In fact, more people trust Orthopedic One than any other practice in Central Ohio. Start with the specialists. Start with orthopedic1.com.
Full inventory sale at Logan Services. Save up to $2,500 and 0% APR financing for 72 months on a qualifying train system. Plus, your choice of one air quality freebie. It's hard to stop a train with a system for every home and budget. Now, for a limited time, save up to $1,000 on a water heater and water conditioning combo. Ask us about tax credits when you book your free estimate now. Logan Services.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
1 in 3 student athletes gets disturbing messages from sports bettors. This threatens the safety and mental health of college athletes like Tyler.
I'm a student and an athlete. I don't deserve to be threatened over my play. If you're upset about your sports bet, don't take it out on me, because I'm more than a bet.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The city